What did you not know about sex until you lost your virginity? The most primitive thing of all is that it's not enough to just stick it inside. That when you ejaculate into a woman, everything comes back. I always believed that the vagina absorbs everything and no one will ever see the sperm again. I've never been so wrong before. Just because you're having sex doesn't mean you'll get it right without a lot of trial and error. Penises can move on their own, in the sense of without the help of the owner's hands. It shocked me that men can make them bounce with their minds. It's hard to insert a penis without it jumping out. You need to control it a lot more than you think. Two bellies rubbing against each other can make a loud farting sound. It's funny when it happens for the first time. Not immediately after losing my virginity, but after years of sexual activity, remembering my first time when my partner was much more experienced than me, I realized that almost any sex with a new person, virgin or not, is a new experience. I was too focused on being good at sex when I should have been treating it like a workout. Foreplay is super important. You don't see it in porn movies, so until you get into the bedroom, you don't think about preparation. You often see people just having sex without foreplay, which is also great, but it's still much better when both parties are warmed up. Your future sex life depends on how you masturbate. How do you sleep after sex? This stuff knocks you out as well as sleeping pills. It's hot, very hot, like a hot tub. It's a pleasant surprise. You don't just lie on the bed like a roll when it's over, you have to pee. Not very romantic. Porn is a terrible manual for virgins. It's unlikely that you'll be coherent enough or understand your partner's body well enough to repeat some of the weird shit you saw in the last movie. Besides, 90% of the positions you see in porn are uncomfortable. Take your time, communicate, get to know each other, and learn. This is the key to a great first time. Someone who had no idea what they were doing made an absolute fool of themselves on their first attempt. That I was allergic to latex. I'll quote my ex, "I knew what was going to happen, but I didn't know what was going to happen." In general, there is no better teacher than experience. The vaginal canal is often at an angle, not just pointing downward. Fucking cardio, you'd be surprised how much cardio is involved in all this activity. It is advisable to stretch beforehand. A cramp can really ruin your mood. The vagina is lower than expected. I assumed that it started from the same place as the penis, so when I put my hand in my first girlfriend's pants, I thought it was some weird Barbie doll with a smooth knee instead of genitals. How important push-ups are. That I'll have to kick my cat out of the room because he'll sit at the end of the bed and stare. That your partner doesn't care about the little flaws in your body that make you feel insecure and think they'll ruin everything. It means nothing if you don't have chemistry. My first time made me realize how perfectly proportioned the genitals are. I had an epiphany moment when I put it inside. It was like putting on a suit that fits you perfectly. I literally thought to myself, oh, that's why it's shaped like that. It takes more cleaning than expected. In all movies, whether they show heterosexual or homosexual sex, the partners always fuck and then cuddle or sleep or do something else, but definitely not clean up the aftermath of sex. Oh, it turns out that this thing leaks. Spontaneous sex is uncomfortable for this reason alone. It's the temperature inside. Try reapplying the thermal paste. As a last resort, switch to water cooling. That you can change several positions in one go. How noticeably different vaginal, oral, and anal sex is. It's much funnier than I expected. Unexpected things happen, and it's better to be more open-minded about it. What does it feel like to have an orgasm? I thought my body was shaking because I was nervous. It was only with time that I realized it wasn't nerves, but an orgasm. You need to pee afterwards, especially if you have a vagina. Make sure your partner's hands are clean. Penetration can lead to bacteria being pushed into the urethra. Urinating after intercourse helps wash them out and reduces the chances of getting a urinary tract infection. Infectious diseases are very painful and often require antibiotics for treatment. I was forced to visit the hospital too often in the morning because I had to run to the toilet every 5 minutes with terrible pain and urges. And all because I didn't pee after sex or waited too long to go. Condoms and some other forms of contraception, such as the pill, can also increase your chances of catching cystitis. My best advice is to drink something before the process so you have something in your body to pee afterwards. Because my ADHD extends to sex, I still get distracted and think about other random things, and then at some point I realize, woo, I'm getting a blowjob. How much it hurts when they hit the cervix. Alcohol makes your baby want to get laid. As Shakespeare wrote about alcohol, it provokes desire but takes away productivity. Dudes, I was so fucking dumb as a kid that I didn't even know that pussies get wet. I thought it was just a hole you put your dick in. The first thing I asked my girlfriend was, were you nervous or something? Because your pussy was pretty sweaty. I wish it was a joke. I'm even afraid to find out about how painful it was for the girl to do it in the dry. How cool is it to watch your partner orgasm? Putting on a condom for the first time is surprisingly difficult. Losing your virginity doesn't have to be painful and bloody. I expected it to be, but in my experience, it wasn't. There is such a thing as premature ejaculation. My first time was over very quickly. My first time was like Russian roulette, where half of the balls are premature ejaculation and the other half are erectile dysfunction. How big the erect penis is? I always thought it was the size of a thick pencil. So the first time I put my hand in his boxer and saw what was there, I could only exclaim, wow. I think he looked pleased. That I don't need sex, I need someone to love me. My friend learned that you shouldn't have sex in a room with cats once he was at a girl's house. And at the most interesting part, the cat jumped on his naked ass and clawed at it. I almost broke a rib from laughing when he told me this. The pleasure of sex is very dependent on both people. It was terrible with one girl, then it was better with another. I can't describe how different sex is with different people. Sex with my wife before we got married was divine. There was something immense that made you lose your mind. And to this day, when we make love, the whole universe disappears, time doesn't matter. And for the whole moment, nothing exists but her and me in each other's arms. Friends, thank you for watching. In the comments below the video, write what you learned about sex when you started having it. Dear friends, thank you for every like, comment, subscription, and call. Thank you for watching to the end. See you in the next video.